The story of Jesus. Hey everyone. Today, we're diving into one of the most influential figures in history, Jesus. Whether you've read the religious texts, seen movies, or just heard stories, Jesus' life has shaped so much of our world. Join me as we unpack his story, from his humble beginnings to his powerful teachings in a way that's relatable and easy to understand. So, let's start by setting the scene. We're talking about the first century in a little place called Judea, which was under Roman rule. Imagine a patchwork of cultures, languages, and traditions all mashed together. The Jewish community was deeply rooted in their faith and had high hopes for a Messiah, someone who would lead them to freedom. On one hand, you had Jewish leaders navigating their relationship with the occupying Romans, and on the other, everyday people wanting change. It's in this dynamic backdrop that Jesus' story begins to unfold. Now, on to Jesus' beginnings. The story goes that he was born in Bethlehem under some pretty miraculous circumstances. His mom, Mary, was visited by an angel who told her she would give birth to the Son of God. Talk about pressure, right? She and Joseph, her fiancé, ended up in a stable because there was no room at the inn. They welcomed Jesus into the world surrounded by hay, animals, and a star shining brightly overhead. This humble start is symbolic of his teachings about humility and kindness. Jesus grew up in Nazareth, where he lived a pretty ordinary life. Can you imagine it? Playing with friends, learning from his parents, and getting into the usual childhood mischief. Even in those early years, he was influenced by Jewish teachings and cultural practices that would later shape his beliefs and work. Fast forward to when Jesus was around 30 years old. It was time for his ministry to kick off. He got baptized by John the Baptist in the Jordan River. This event was huge. It marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life. Right after that, Jesus spent 40 days in the desert being tempted, which really solidified his commitment to his mission. Soon, he began to gather a crew of followers who would later be known as his disciples. These were everyday folks, including fishermen and tax collectors, who were inspired by his message of love and hope. Together, they set off on a journey that would change the world. So what did Jesus actually teach? At the heart of Jesus' message was love. Love for God, love for one another, and especially love for those who were marginalized. He shared many parables, like the story of the Good Samaritan, teaching that kindness knows no boundaries. Aside from his teachings, Jesus performed a lot of miracles that left people in awe. Imagine seeing someone heal the sick, feed 5,000 people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, or even walking on water. These miracles weren't just about showing off. They were about revealing compassion and the power of faith. People were drawn to him, and so his following grew day by day. But, as you might expect, not everyone was on board with Jesus' message. He started ruffling feathers, especially with the religious authorities who felt threatened by his popularity and teachings. Tensions escalated when Jesus cleansed the temple, overturning tables and calling out corruption. It became clear that there were powerful people who wanted to silence him, setting the stage for the eventual betrayal. Then came a key moment in the story, the Last Supper. This was Jesus' final meal with his disciples. Afterward, he was betrayed by Judas Iscariot and arrested. What followed was a high-profile trial that left many questioning the justice of it all. Ultimately, he was crucified, a brutal and painful death on a cross. This act of sacrifice has profound significance in Christianity, symbolizing the depth of Jesus' love for humanity. But hold on, the story doesn't end there. On the 3rd day after his crucifixion, he rose from the dead. This resurrection is what many consider the cornerstone of Christian faith and a powerful message of hope and new beginnings. What's incredible is how quickly Jesus' message spread after his death. His disciples went out, sharing the gospel and establishing the early Christian church. Today, we see his teachings reflected in everything from art to moral frameworks that guide our behavior. The impact of Jesus continues to resonate across cultures and generations, a true testament to his legacy. So there you have it. From his humble beginnings to his powerful impact, the story of Jesus is not just about religion. It's about love, hope, and connection. We all can take something from his teachings in our daily lives. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If this story resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time.